Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Borderlands 2. So we've been through this area, the Halloween DLC, the Thanksgiving DLC, and the Christmas DLC, which, had I known those actually existed, I would have gone through those bits quicker, so that they would have lined up closer to the actual dates that they would have aired. That would have been very, very possible. All of these DLCs were really small maps that barely had two or three missions in them. And now we're going to try and find the Caravan of Carnage DLC, which I assume is this area here, the Badass Crater of Badassitude. If not, it's gonna be like the raid on Digistruct Peak. And if I can't fit, if it's not either one of those, we're really just gonna have to go down the list. We know all of these areas here, and it's weird that they put the DLC like that way. You can sort it by alphabetical, or you can sort it by just whatever they want it to be sorted as by pressing the Y button. I'm fairly certain I haven't been to this area. This looks a lot like the DLC area. Here we go.
Listen carefully, mouth breathers of the world. This is Patricia Tanis, and I have found another vault. As you may know, the opening of the first vault 5 years ago triggered a chain reaction that revealed more vaults on Pandora.
Ring! You don't want to hear about that, Vault Hunter. You want to hear about loot and packs and explosions. I'm Torg, and I'm here to ask you one question and one question only. Explosions?
Get off this echo frequency, you protein-guzzling buffoon! I'm trying to convey—
That sentence had too many syllables. Apologize!
As I was saying, I've discovered that this new vault is buried in the center of a large crater and will only open, and I quote, once the champion of Pandora feeds it the blood of the ultimate coward.
We at the Tor Corporation sincerely believe this is fucking awesome! It's so awesome that we're gonna set up a tournament to find us #1 badass. If you want in, come to where the vault is buried. In the Badass Crater of Badassitude!
That's not what the area is called!
Badass Crater of Badassitude!
So, Mr. Torque, I suppose, is like, this is weird because
Badassitude, badass. This is Mr. Torque, broadcasting to you from deep orbit. If you're here, that means you want to win our tournament. Open a vault and earn the title of #1 badass. Now, before you get started, you gotta digitally sign our legal waiver.
so the Thanksgiving DLC had Mr. Torg quit basically working for the Torg Corporation, so this kind of has to have happened before that point, I guess. So maybe the holiday DLCs happened in a second here. We'll want to see a few things here. We'll want to see what this quest level is. Level 30. That's a little low, so maybe this was part of a Season 1 pass and the other one was a second yearly Season 1 pass. Patricia Tanis being at least competently sane, even in saying a few bits of things on that video, intro video, is a little out of character. Like, she needs to kind of say something crazy. Well, there's a decent amount of money. Not as much as I was getting in the Christmas DLC, though. So, yeah, characters, Patricia Tanis in particular, did not get a lot of things. Are we having some weirdness here? Yeah, I think we are. Let's see. Yeah, we're having some weirdness, so it's time. The game has been alt-tabbed out, and so it's time to exit back to the main menu. Yeah, as a character, oh man, this might just be straight up frozen. Look at that. It's gonna take forever for it to even animate the spinning the camera around function. Why this would take so much time is slightly questionable. I suppose as the camera is spinning to the counterclockwise rotation, it is loading in more textures on the left side of the screen, and if a memory leak has used up literally all of the RAM in the computer, or the video RAM in the computer, then that would take a lot of time. Alright, well, one thing I can also realize here is that the this DLC is going to be longer because they bothered to put a cutscene at the beginning. Really, yeah, those holiday DLCs were unfinished, just very, very rushed. They didn't need to be like that. Even if you combine all three together and consider them as its own single, as one bit of DLC, it's still not good enough quality wise. As we are getting rumors and talk of Borderlands 3 getting closer to being released, I saw a YouTuber running around an area that looked a lot like this, and since I hadn't played this DLC, I was wondering if there was a scene like this in Borderlands 2, or if perhaps that YouTuber was playing Borderlands the pre-sequel. Although, since I think all of Borderlands the pre-sequel takes place on the moon, you probably don't get much variety in the environments. Not in the way that we would normally expect. See, this almost looks like there would be a shield here, but I guess there isn't. So I'm trying to get a look here and see if this is just where the Mr. Shank area was, because this looks a lot like that. Desert with roads above it. Still really haven't figured out what the timeline as far as how long humans have been on this planet. Clearly it was a pretty long amount of time, like at least 400 years I'm saying, but not certain if they ever put a specific number on it. And we'll look for Cult of the Vault things. Let's see what level these are at. These two are also at level 30. Unless the game is going to give me $1 million at the end of this DLC, which I'm fairly certain this is the last bit of DLC, although we're going to have to look. I'm not going to make that $3 million desired amount. And honestly, I don't know if I ever am going to have time to play Borderlands 2 anymore. So we signed the tournament.
You're in Torgland now, sucker. Just head to the arena while I play you a sick guitar solo.
This sure feels kind of on the same level as the Thanksgiving Day DLC. I like Mr. Torg as a character. He played a big role in the DLC elements, but the problem there is, see, when we just have basic cars, there is that so many other characters were underwritten in the sequel that there's just no room for new characters. And I think there's probably a misunderstanding in my opinion, as far as what makes Borderlands 1 good. If you're thinking, oh, it's just the amazing characterization of people, that's part of it, but a lot of it isn't that. It's actually the exact opposite of that. Oh, flame. I got the wrong kind of vehicle. Like, when I think Borderlands 1, I think a game where I can just run and gun and shoot things, and I don't care about what's going on in the story. Mr. Torg puts it exactly right. It's like, that sentence is too long.
That's like half my vocabulary. It's goddamn bullshit.
A funny solution there in that line of dialogue to explaining why they're beeping, but also, you know, it is just more of an evidence that Borderlands has always been firmly locked into a teen plus range. It's never really wanted to be mature. I don't know if it really would benefit much from being mature. The thing you could do here that would probably ruin Borderlands is if you just had Lilith the Firehawk and Maya the Siren and Mad Moxie all like in scantily clad, like topless clothing by default, and you went hardcore and you were just cussing all the time and it was just way more blood. You would move it into a mature / adults only range and just have fewer people playing a game that benefits quite a bit by having more people play it, particularly if you're doing the multiplayer. But even if you're a solo player, you still benefit by having a strong player base feed back and say, hey, this is the part we like, this is the part we don't, we're supporting this product, we want more of this product to be made. Like, not too many people are seriously asking for a Knack 3 to be made. Lots of people are seriously asking for Borderlands 3 and well, Half-Life 3, of course, to be made. Although at this point, I think most people have given up on any of that. Seems like we've got some new kinds of enemies on the road. Motorcycle characters. A good comparison, I would say, is if you think about the God of War games of old. The original series of God of War. That was a mature game with a lot of blood, violence, and nudity. Although perhaps historically accurate nudity. But it was certainly not done in a non-exploitive way. And that put that series in the mature rating, which probably hurt it a little bit when you compare it to, say, the new God of War game, which is a little bit more mature in the sense of it's being reserved and not just being exploitative. I feel like people have dropped guns all over the place. Is that what's going on? Do you not pick up guns when you shoot people in cars? No, you don't. Well, then you can't ever use a car, can you? I never really liked the car elements in Borderlands, and that's a good reason why. Like, you're not going to be able to smash things, you're not going to be able to search things, you're not going to be able to pick up guns when they're dropped. You can't play the main gameplay mechanics. I am having a slight feeling of you know, this could be more. I'm still using my weak shield, by the way. Like, seems just a little slow when I can go into an area like this and nothing happened. I find it annoying at this point that there are so many of these toolboxes around, and they played a major role. Like, they use these toolboxes way too often. I guess, though, I should be happy that there's no, well, no claptrap units besides the one claptrap unit left. This is ridiculous, though. There's too much empty space. I'm gonna have to run back here. Are we gonna see any drifters? By the way, the walk around characters. Alright. Bandit technical with a this and that. Now I know that there's some quests around doing something like that, where you're using your brakes, kind of like a Mario Kart game, to get blue sparks. If Borderlands had ever told me that leaving guns on the ground improved the quality of the guns you do pick up, or the guns that get dropped in the future, I could see where having systems where you can just drive around and destroy things makes some sense. I guess at this point we should just you should just drive around and head towards the actual location we're supposed to be. I don't think you'd make a jump that way. I'm a little surprised to make a jump this way. This doesn't quite look like the location in the DLC in the first game. So it seems like it's changed up a little bit. I'm just trying to expose the map, I suppose. Like, interesting that a single barrel stops me. This does look like this will be a race at some point. And here we have a character. I was trying to zoom in and I guess you can't. That I suppose she's not mentioned. I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up though in Borderlands 3. If it's anything like Borderlands 2, they'll constantly try to introduce new characters. It's almost as if they're trying to run a cartoon just designed around selling toys. And you know, Gearbox does sell a decent amount of things on their stores of action figures and toys, but that's not what this is. This is a video game. It should be a video game first and foremost. What's this? I can't. It says Torg, but I can't make out what it is. let's see. A motorcycle, okay. I'm still not super happy with the way it gets dark in a lot of these areas.
You're in the core zone, baby. If you aren't made of gasoline, metal, or bacon, get the fuck down.
So apparently I'm not going the right direction a couple times. Here? I guess you were supposed to start.
Right now, you're ranked 50th in the badass leaderboards, which puts you behind my grandma, but ahead of some guy she come to death. It took several hours. If you want to open that vault, you gotta rise in the leaderboard. Also, you need a sponsor for motherfucking legal reasons. Get to the arena and we'll set you up with one.
So we're gonna kill Pete's burners. Find a sponsor. Alright. See, if I shoot those, I guess it does expose things. Just doing a massive amount of damage over here. But I'm hitting the a lot of things in the way. I don't know if that's intentionally placed that way or what. There's like one more guy that I'll have to go kill. But is that really Borderlands? Like, is this really first-person shooting, loot-based RPG that we're doing when we're shooting from a gun? From a car?
I probably should have set you up with the sponsor beforehand, but I'm fucking disorganized as shit and was busy suplexing a shark wearing a bolo tie when I should have been setting up sponsors. You may ask, who was wearing the bolo tie? You or the shark? Answer, yes.
See, I don't even really need bullets because I've been using the car. Can't actually jump out of there. Interesting. Looks like you'd be able to walk in here, but it's hitting a ledge. See, so if we come over here quickly and look at what we've got to sell, it's basically nothing. Even though we've been spending a decent amount of time here. Yeah, the Christmas DLC may really have thrown me off on just how often it is reasonable to expect to get a new gun or large amounts of money. Here we have another Seraph crystals.
Go kill a Seraph Guardian. And then we will talk.
So Seraph Guardians are in this part of the DLC too. Find 2 treasure chests hidden behind the signs. What signs? Oh, I guess there are signs. What does the sign say? So we've got this, is what it says. So we'll have to look. There's some more grenades. And we've got Cult of the Vault again. How many Cult of the Vault symbols are there? There's going to be 3 more to find, which I won't find them, certainly. So let's say that this really does open another vault. Like, what is that really gonna give us? A bunch of money, a bunch of guns. It's been done like twice before.
You're welcome. I didn't want you to get bored, so I was like, give everybody guns. We lost half of our workforce in 3 days, but who gives a fuck?
See, and the funny thing is, Mr. Torg is probably not too different from most people in the universe of Borderlands. It seems like it is a insane universe of violence and gun maniacy. I'm still severely overpowered here, so is kind of, and I can't even get people to stand near barrels. Toward people look very strong. And I'm just trying to shoot everything to It's like if they even manage to hit me, my shield does so much damage to them that they die on one hit. It's a little surprising that the barrels don't drop any bullets or anything when they explode, but the gas.
This is talking to you, baby. I'm impressed with how you handle yourself out there, Vault Hunter. I hear you need a sponsor, and as it so happens, I need a new apprentice. Come find me at the arena. Just follow the succulent scent of success.
Is there anything more over here? Seems like you can work your way up to this point. I want to look at the map for a second and start to think about this. Like, we started over here. It looks like there's some more stuff maybe over here. It looks like there might be some more stuff over here and over here. But this arena is dominating the landscape, and I'm not 100% certain that this isn't really just going to turn into a arena battle game. It's weird, like, if you found a vault, how did you build an arena on it so fast? Like, how did that happen? Yeah, we have some quest markers, which might prove to be useful. Yeah. trying to find as much money as possible. But I basically would have to get $1 million at some point in this DLC. And I don't see why it would do that. Maybe in the second playthrough though, you could probably, like, I think you fairly easily could save up another $1 million. These are just in the wrong place completely. Where is that even supposed to be? Like, where in the world was that even supposed to be? Was it supposed to be over here and here? A big glitch there. Like, it could have been supposed to have been on top of this platform, but it would have barely fit if that was the case. And one assumes that, I bet Mr. Torg is in there. Yeah, one assumes that this is close to where it was supposed to be.
Piston, what would you say to those who accused you of cheating, of rigging fights to gain your #1 ranking?
Wow, Jeffrey. Well, I guess I say I'd have to do this. And then I tell them to never call me a cheater! And you can quote me on that. Hey, over here, newbie.
So, interesting, you have a bandaged up character that we've never seen a bandaged up character before, and then we have Piston, who looks completely unique.
You are now in the presence of greatness.
Alright, so we turn in the mission, we get $1,000 and 3,000 experience, which is about a third of the amount of experience some of the other DLC was giving
Here's
me.
what Piston's offering, Chickadee.
But we're
Piston
getting
will
chapters.
sponsor you. Piston will take you under his muscly wing, and we will open that vault together. I've already set up your first fight in the arena. Get in there and show him that Piston and the Vault Hunter are a force to be reckoned with. Is it just me, or does it seem like he's gonna betray the fuck out of you?
So I'm looking for like a Vault Hunter, Cult of the Vault symbol back here. No, it doesn't look like there's anything. So we're getting chapters, and maybe what they do is they give you 3,000 experience because they're going to give you 3 quests in these longer DLCs, or 3 times as many quests, so they have to give you a little less experience to balance it out. Perhaps there is a max number that they established as far as how much experience one could get per. Ooh.
Now, usually, your first match will be against a single opponent.
Mr. Torg
But I
gun.
thought, instead you're gonna be fighting a few dozen chumps called the Horde of Horrors. Now, I can kick their ass with both pecs tied behind my back, but you'll want to take it easy.
So we have this at level 29. We have this giving some level 29 stuff, and then instead of the Marcus gun shop, we have a Torg gun shop, which is interesting, but I don't think it really changes anything. Honestly, I think we're still going to just... Ooh. These are Torg tokens. Level 30. And this would require 38 Torg tokens. Yeah. I need some Torg tokens. Interesting.
Feeling overburdened.
Interesting idea. A secondary currency in an RPG. As long as it's not microtransaction secondary currency, that might change things. Although we already have Iridium, which is a secondary currency, and we already have Seraph Crystals, which is a third currency, so this is the fourth currency in this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like
We're already at chapter 2.
Does the Vault Hunter have what it takes to survive the appetite for destruction round? I think we all know the answer. Maybe.
Wait in the arena to be prepared. Looks like we're probably gonna get dropped down. Wait for the arena to be prepared.
The rules are simple. Use the provided loot and kill everybody. The last fighter standing is a bona fide badass. Go to the center of the arena when you're ready to start.
Okay. So yeah, this... My hope here is this doesn't just turn into Mad Moxie's Underdome. Because if it does, that's gonna kind of suck. And if they make me actually use different guns, that's gonna kind of suck. Alright, kill everyone in wave 1.
Figures.
Here we go. It's probably not even worth. We're getting louder death squeals from these characters. Of course, the problem here is that so, like, kind of nothing going on here. The joke, I imagine, will be that it turns out this doesn't actually open a vault, and this is just going to be done for no reason. Seems like there's two factions now fighting each other. Just throw a grenade that way. The only thing I really need to do is find a bead on the people, so if they hide and I can't see them, that makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, this is nothing for me. And I guess if I want some bullets, I can do this, and this will just Hyperion launch some bullets. Not really that many, even. And these don't seem to open anything. So it's kind of easy enough just to stand in one place and wait until somebody shoots me so I can find them. Seems like somebody's hitting me with a slightly strong gun. And this should be the last one. Super easy when you're overpowered. And I'm up to rank 5.
Piston is stage heads to deliver some guns to you. Take them. Piston thinks this will be the start of a beautiful relationship.
Where's these guns? Okay. We get 5 Torg tokens. You found a Torg token. Torg tokens can be acquired by completing battles and sometimes dropped from badasses. You can use it to buy Torg gear from the Torg vending machine. Torg.
I'm not gonna share the false prize with some no-name mercenary. I'm the greatest fighter who ever lived. I will open the vault myself. And you will get the hell out of my arena. That noise you're hearing is the arena filling up with Armstrong gas. I've turned off the cameras. Just breathe deep and pass out like a good little coward.
So the betrayal happened quickly.
What happened to the camera feed? Why do I hear gas? Did somebody drag the vault underway? I have no idea what is going on.
And so we can see here's all the people. So yeah, no duh, Piston's the bad guy. I guess I don't want to jump down there. Now that does put us in a weird position because all of those things that were on the ground, these small bits of money and such, have now been left, and I can't, I think, go back and collect them. But before we leave, we'll open these for small amounts. Again, kind of quiet, kind of slow. Of course, when you're fighting level 29 enemies, and it only takes one shot to kill somebody, that's a considerably different experience than if I was fighting level 42 enemies and had to constantly run backwards to avoid taking damage and dodge and take cover and unload entire clips or two in this enemies. There we go.
What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, the Vault Hunter has disappeared from the arena. I don't know where the fuck did it go. Let me educate you, Torg. The Vault Hunter ran away. They found out they'd have to fight me, Piston, to become the #1 badass on Pandora. And they ran away like a little baby. Ran away? This is a travesty! I've got no choice. As the head of the Torg tournament, I must officially dub the Vault Hunter a coward!
Now, I don't know how much that affects.
It's straight up dog time. I know you ain't actually a coward, but fuck that twist ending didn't make for some good TV. Still, you're gonna need a new sponsor if you want to stay in the tournament. Get to the beatdown.
So, yeah, I don't know how much it would affect an average video game player, but for me, being called a coward by a fake cartoon character does not matter much at all. Sell that. We wouldn't want that. Or that one. Where are we doing as far as quests? We are doing the Campaign of Carnage, and like, yeah, there's a decent amount of progress we've already made on those. So where does it want us to go now? Run up that direction. Which, let's just take a vehicle. So how are we gonna get up to that point?
Follow me, Siren! Close the clearing! Till she lost her
Seems like there's a back door to the arena. Interesting. I guess maybe that's in case you needed to go back there and pick up something. I do want to just look all around here and see if there's any kind of treasure chest or Cult of the Vault symbol, something worth the effort to run through all this. It probably isn't. I could have sworn that a section gets blocked off, so yeah, you run all the way through all of this and there's nothing. And it's not any faster to run this way. Instead of introducing vehicles, it would be nicer if they just introduced a way to move faster on your feet. Like, even if it's something as ridiculous as just putting skates on your feet. And maybe there's a penalty if you move faster that you can't fight enemies, or you reduce your health completely, or your shield depletes completely. Any of those could be reasonable counterbalances to an increase in movement speed. But I would like to see something. Suppose I can work on any quest I might have as far as killing skags.
That is called roadkill.
Let's see. If I go this way, maybe the
Words, but appropriate.
Now, how do you pick up this gun? Like, you can't. So, jump out of the game, out of the car, pick up the gun. And by the time I get enough torque tokens to buy that skin, I think it'll have cycled out. Over here is nothing. At least it looks like nothing.
At the sound of the explosion, it was we torque or clock!
See, the alarm didn't even come on. The warning symbols didn't appear. Maybe they don't appear when you're in a car, so maybe you just accidentally get shot. Here are some of those landmines from the first game. Doesn't seem like you can explode them though. In the first game, there were definitely some you could shoot and set off. So then the question is, do they go off if you hit them? Nope. It doesn't even happen. Alright. I'm not sure if this is the right way to go, but it seems like a decent path. And here we have some bunnies. And bombs. So is this Tiny Tina? Or a Tiny Tina-like character? This looks a lot like Tiny Tina to me. Now, I have heard rumors that Tiny Tina will come back as a non-playable character, probably a quest giver in Borderlands 3, and she will be a little bit older. She's like 12 or 13 in this game, and she'll be, you know, 17 or 18. Well, I must have a quest that revolves around doing this later. It's not a huge surprise that Borderlands 3 would have Tiny Tina in it, though. She's one of the best characters. She totally should come back. I would argue Mordecai and Slab have less reason to come back. Even Lilith. But I imagine all of those characters will come back. Of course, then that opens the door. Are we gonna have Lilith, Mordecai, or Slab killed in Borderlands 3 just to make room? Or is it gonna be Tiny Tina that gets killed in Borderlands 3? There's other characters you could get rid of too. You could get rid of Patricia Tannis. Since they barely used or expanded on her character in this game. If we can go up here, that tells me there's something over there. So remember, I can fall off these. This is quite the platforming puzzle for Borderlands. Don't see this.
Easy.
One challenge done. I'll just jump down here. And I guess we're going through here. We'll have to probably fight some more people. Look around. Yeah, even in a relatively medium-sized area like this, there's just so many places that hide things and so much makes it a lot of walking around. Why is there nobody attacking me here? This is confusing. Somebody somewhere, they need to introduce the concept of just random enemies. Again, I guess the game has been full of random enemies, but there's nothing. Just literally nothing here. This is taking us to a totally different area, which all of the bigger DLCs did have secondary areas that did not show up on the fast travel station until you reach them. I can tell this is going to be a relatively long experience. You're not going to have 2 bounty boards in a game without giving me at least a decent collection. 38 for a Siren head customization, or level 30 for 613 tokens. That's a lot of tokens. That is definitely a lot of tokens. Unless I start getting them like crazy. Want to see if maybe that's worth
Welcome, customer.
1.9 million. Fast travel location, so I could fast travel the sanctuary if I wanted to.
The
I'm
number
not
4
ready.
rate badass lives out here. His name's Pyro Pete, and he huge kidnapped one of the freelance sponsors around here a day ago. You should go kill him and meet him, but not in that order.
So, seems like I'm gonna fight all of the top 4 people, regardless, or the top 5 enemies. Have to be careful not to hold down X.
We got a live one. Help! You lost for that. You're going down.
I'm not sure my transfusion grenades need to be used anymore. I'd have to look, but I'm getting the feeling that I might be done with that quest at this point, the vampire quest, and I should move over to the other style of grenades I was going to use. A lot of little hidden areas, which is cool. Feel like I've lowered the amount of iridium I've been picking up lately. I'm still not at 150, which is where I'd like to be. And yeah, we're just back to playing Borderlands.
You'll pay for that. Get out of here.
And this will be a different Cult of the Vault. There's 2 of them in this area. Cruising for bruising quest done. That's killing bruisers.
I tell you, that Vault Hunter coward was like a child to me. I sponsored him, brought him up. You know, when he came down to the Commando, they ran away in fear. How the mighty have fallen. Even with the whole coward thing, you're still the number 5 badass on the Torque leaderboard, and Piston's number 1. You just gotta kill your way up the list, and then you'll be able to whip out your heroism and slap Piston in the face with it.
Whip out your heroism. Interesting. Maybe my vampire grenades are not working because I'm not taking any damage. I don't think that's part of the quest. I don't think I have to actually be healed by it.
Welcome to the Torg Arena.
I don't know what I could do to even cause that to happen. Honestly, I'm already using a pretty low level shield. Remove my shield completely. That'd be an interesting option, I suppose. There was one shield that worked that way. That would give you enhanced health, but at the expense of having no shield. This is new. I guess this section is gated off. So maybe that section opens up later on. Maybe it's a case of the music being just kind of the wrong... no music is really playing right now, but even when it does play, it doesn't feel like it connects the right way. It doesn't feel like it establishes the right mood. And it is a pretty rare occasion, to be fair, that video game music does significantly become noticeable. Often it's just kind of there to stop silence and to make the game feel like it has more environmentality than it actually has, I guess would be the phrase, environmentality. Is this a challenge or is this just a gun? Guess that's just a gun. Down this way. Yep, really just feels like we're following paths. Let's see what's over here. What's over here? I can really just have any number of people chasing after me, and it's just throw a grenade, let your shield take care of it. Don't really have to do anything else. Let's grab the money. And yeah, there could be any number of hidden things, or there could be nothing. I'm a little surprised that there aren't more slot machines running around. There should be a Torgue token slot machine, probably, that we run into. There should be the regular slot machines at almost every vending machine place. I suppose maybe the idea was Gearbox wasn't certain whether they would get away with having slot machines in the game. Maybe they would have to censor it out or something. So they only put them in a few places. But even if that was the case, you could have easily just had a toggle created, and I wouldn't have been upset if the game itself included a toggle to show slot machines or not. Really not doing anything special here. Just grinding. That may be a new cow head. Cow skull. Oh, here's one thing we missed. I'm playing very obsessively, very OCD. Well, it's been another hour. We still would have nothing we can do here with the yeah, I really wouldn't use that. Really wouldn't use that. Might use that, but that's probably way lower than anything I have. Oh, and this is way lower too, because I know I have a second wind that is like 115%. So yeah, let's mark off all of these grenades. How many of these things are actually even Torgue? There's a Torgue in my RV grenade. All of these are going to be iridium. All of these guns are not Torg either. I'm not even sure Torg makes a gun class. The rumor is Borderlands 3 will have at least a couple new gun classes and new elementals, things like that. And there's, as we're going through this, still a lot of things that we really couldn't even finish. We'd have to go back to the Dragon Keep to kill spiders because there won't be spiders anywhere else. We'd have to go to several other DLC things to do that. Some of these, theoretically, I could get done, particularly if I went back and did some of these skipped, ignored quests. But a lot of these, not so much. As far as enemies to kills, as far as elemental things, I'm supposed to be using damage over time, incendiary damage over time, and shock damage over time, and just setting things on fire as far as elemental abilities. As far as loot, we still need to pick up a lot of orange legendaries. That's not going to happen. Most of these are done. As far as money, trading with players, I'd have to actually trade with players. I've collected all over 1 million, but I haven't held over 3 million. So I would still need 1 million more to get that quest done for 100 badass points. Kill enemies while riding as a passenger in a vehicle. I'd need somebody else to play with. Kill enemies by ramming them with a vehicle. Kill vehicles while in a vehicle. Kill enemies with a turret. Still a lot to do there. Kill enemies by power sliding over them in a vehicle, which I don't know exactly how you do that. Again, a lot of these require second wins via damage over time, corrosive damage over time, second wins via incendiary damage over time, things that I'm surprised have happened even that much. Recover a significant amount of health, which at this point I would really have to just try to take off my shield completely to do that. Second wins by killing over shock, damage over time. So the damage over time things. Kill enemies with transfusion grenades. Yeah, there's still a considerable amount of those that would need to be done. Kill enemies with bouncing betties. Considerable amount of those that would need to be done. Kill enemies with MIRVs. And kill enemies with any kind of area effect grenades. And then spike shield. I still need to kill quite a few people that way. I need to kill quite a few people with the Nova. Kill enemies with a melee shield. I don't think I've been using melee shields. I didn't even know they existed. Absorb ammo with an absorption shield. And kill enemies buffed by an amplify shield. Then rocket launcher quests, sniper rifle quest, assault rifle quest. I've done all the SMG quests, so there's really no reason to play with the SMG anymore. Shotgun quest, one of which I haven't even discovered. Pistol quests and melee quests. And then yeah, still some crazy things to do just in general combat. Still a lot of miscellaneous things to do. Like the idea of completing optional mission objectives, I've done 51 of 70. I've pretty much done everything that's been available, so you're not going to get to level 5 on your first playthrough. Again, duels require a second player. We haven't found any Jimmy Jenkins, and apparently they want you to find him 5 times. Complete 100 more challenges. That pretty much means, I think, doing all of them. And that would definitely require going back to a lot of these places and just getting the Cult of Vault things. I don't see a way that that would happen without following a walkthrough. Every single area has like a Cult of the Vault quest that almost none of them have been done. Yeah, as far as ignored missions, we have one we could do here if I was really interested in doing it, but it would take a lot of time. One that was undiscovered that I just could not find it. We could definitely go do the creature slaughter round 3 and the Hyperion slaughter round 1, 2, and 3. I think at this point easily. It just take time and it's not worth it. But a lot of these are just so high level, even at level 42, even though they say they're only at level 35, I would need an assistant. I would need somebody playing with me just to make sure they can revive me and I can revive them. When we get one more level up, I imagine we should be putting points into that, unless we wanted to start putting points into it, like increasing critical hit damage, which I don't know, maybe I could increase my aim steadiness and that would be more useful than doing critical hit damage. But 4% critical hit damage is probably quite a lot. Honestly, I come to think of it, probably don't need any points into this at this level. It's nice to have, but I could probably spend some money, respec, only go as far as this point for the kill skill, and then instead focus here and work towards increasing critical hit damage some more. I don't think there's anything else really worth doing. And yeah, it just seems like there's a lot more stuff to do. Like, it seems like we're gonna have some more Borderlands to play. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching.